All right, welcome back. It's time now for our weekly checkup with Dr. Isaac Bogoch. Dr. Bogoch, good morning. Great to see you again. It's been a while. So we are hearing that influenza B is now rising later in the season, especially in kids. I hear that some of your kids are sick. My son was sick. What should parents be watching for? And is it different or milder than the influenza A wave we saw earlier?
Yeah, in general, influenza is influenza at an individual level. All influenza can pack a punch. People can feel pretty miserable with this. And in a typical season, we see at the beginning of the season, lots of influenza A, then influenza A starts to wind down, and then you get a bump of influenza B. Typically, the influenza B bump is completely overshadowed by influenza A. It's still around. There's just not nearly as much of it. But of course, it's still around and people are still getting infected with this. People can be pretty miserable with this as well. It is still the flu. And you watch for fevers, you watch for muscle aches and pains, you watch for fatigue. But the key thing here is keeping up with fluids and electrolytes and getting enough rest to recover. The vast majority of people will recover in the comfort of their own home in a couple of days. Of course, if someone isn't eating or drinking well, if someone's somnolent or difficult to can't care for themselves, yeah, of course, you've got to take them in and get checked out in that case.
Yeah, and I understand that in some cases, you know, when I was a new parent, I was so eager to be like, oh my gosh, my son's coughing. I got to take him to a hospital. And we know that there's a danger in really overprescribing antibiotics. So if someone does have a lingering cough or it just won't go away, at what point do you need to seek medical care and be like, hey, maybe I need meds for this?
Right. So, you know, it's not a perfect, pardon me, situation here, because a lot of the time after a virus, people can get what's called a post-viral cough, and it can persist for weeks. But you're looking for things like sputum production, fevers, somnolence, fatigue. People just aren't themselves. And of course, if you're worried, you got to go seek care. Our doors never close. We're always happy to see people if they have any questions around their health. But if kids, for example, are otherwise completely well at their level, you know, baseline state of energy, appetite, and everything else, they look like they're at their baseline level of function, but they just have a persistent cough following a viral illness, yeah, typically that's going to go away in about a week or so. But of course, if there's any warning signs or red flags, they've got to come in and get care and get evaluated by a healthcare provider, especially a family physician or an urgent care provider or an emergency room.
And Dr. Bogoch, globally, you know, it seems like we talk about everything from avian flu to measles resurgences, you know, in the summertime, monkeypox. What's the one infectious disease risk you think Canadians should actually be paying attention to right now without overreacting, given that we are going to see the FIFA World Cup come to our doorstep in just a few months?
Yeah, I mean, I think the key thing here is in Canada, one of the big wow, I wish we had an hour to talk about this, but I would say the biggest one, or one of the biggest ones here, is vaccine preventable illnesses. You know, we still are seeing measles cases in Canada, not just imported cases, but cases transmitted. We see pertussis, also known as whooping cough, here in Canada more frequently. Like, I really think it's extremely important for us to double down on our efforts to ensure that we lower barriers to routine childhood immunizations. There's no reason to have vaccine preventable illnesses spread within the country. We're taking a step back, unfortunately, not forward. We've lost our measles elimination status late last year, and I think we need to do a lot of work to regain this.
Okay, Dr. Bogoch, that is our time. Always great to chat with you. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Take care. Okay, quick break here on CP24 Breakfast. Back with your 7:30 headlines right after this.